The refinement stage. That is one of the essential reasons why people fail in crown prep. Step by step correcting your mistakes. That means this is not 1.2. That means I'm 100% gonna fail there. So the touch of the burr, you can touch it like an intimate. And I hope it's clear and you know what I'm doing. So hi everyone, welcome to another year. Welcome to 2024. This is Dr. Mac with another video. I hope you all are amazing. 7,000 subscribers, still growing. This YouTube channel has, the way we started this channel, I started this that even if I could help one people, share a bit of knowledge and help with the ADC journey, any dental student out there, anyone doing overseas license exams, especially the Australian dental, I would love to help him, and it's helped so many people. Every week when I go through my DMs and have a look at what we have developed in the past and now this channel, how many people it has helped, and the amount of motivational force, how many people get from it, it's spectacular. And I'm just grateful for all of you who have been part of my journey, and who all of you who have actually benefited from it, which is amazing. It's amazing how only 30% population are still subscribed. 70% plus are still not subscribed to the channel. So if you are watching our videos, feel free to subscribe. It does help grow the community and, you know, pass this amazing content to more people and help more people out there. That was the main point and main idea of starting this channel. For all the new subscribers, my name is Dr. Murtaza Mac. I am a cosmetic and general dentist based in Australia. For all my current subscribers, I am now in Melbourne. I officially call Melbourne my new home. I moved to Melbourne and I've started and joined in a stunning cosmetic dentist place, cosmetic clinic in Melbourne. One of the top cosmetic brands in Australia right now. So I'm really honored, privileged and proud to be able to join them and be part of this amazing journey. This video is a bit of a giveaway for all the people who have joined us and who have been part of the journey, all the new people who have been joining us as well. ADC journey is not an easy journey. It has been stressful, and I've done this, I exactly know. My first video that has almost touched 35k views now, composite, and I know a lot of people struggling with crown prep, so this video would be a guide or a tip and trick session for all of you for your crown preparation. I see a lot of people failing in crown preps. I see a lot of people struggling with crown preps. And I see these silly mistakes here and there. Still, I feel people are lacking guidance and still that pass and fail criteria on why they're failing. So this video is gonna be the best giveaway I can for my 7,000 plus subscribers, still growing, my whole ADC family, and any of young dental students and people doing the overseas dental license exams. This video is gonna be a great guide for you that when you finish your crown preps, you think it's finished, but it's not a finish yet. Crown preparation tasks is one of the tasks that a lot of people enjoy. Some people get really frustrated doing the task, but people who have good hand skills actually are the ones, surprisingly, who fail more this task. And the problem is we are so worried about how the tooth looks that we completely miss out on the grading criteria. We're so worried about how my margin looks, and you know, it looks bad. There's a video that I made almost 2 years plus ago now. It's still on my YouTube. Go and watch that. avoid the social media trap, and 3 rules to pass your ADC exam. These 2 videos, everyone should watch it. And they go back through the same psychology or the same mindset behind you're not here to impress people. You shouldn't be more worried about how it looks. You should be more focused on passing the exam. And that is gonna be your main focus. And this video is all about that. So just imagine you have finished your crown prep and you feel like you're happy and you want to submit your task, or you want to finish at home and you want to move to a new crown prep. These are the things you should look at. First, I would say read the grading criteria again. Even if you think you know the grading criteria, read it again, because it's going to surprise you how much it can give and how much you still don't know. It's the same as reading therapeutic guidelines. The more you read, the more you feel like you don't know. And people who say, I've read everything, I ask them one question and they'd be like, oh, I don't know. It's just, it's big. We feel it's small, it's not. Okay, so this video is gonna give you a good idea of when you finish crown prep, how to assess your work and how to refine it to still bring it back into the criteria. Majority of the time, your eye cheats you feeling that it looks good and it's actually a fail. That's what you need to understand. So watch this video and I can bet on you it's going to be an amazing help for anyone, even some of the most experienced clinicians doing the crown prep task or doing the ADC task, or a young dental student. You'll be able to learn from this. For all of you who are not aware, I run an online masterclass on crown prep task. If you can't join our long course, this short course gives you a great guidance on learning crown preps, learning the foundation, the basics, doing the anterior crown prep, posterior crown prep, central incisor, molar, canine, and we have a bonus video now on premolar as well. You learn everything. You learn how to assess your task and what is the pass and fail criteria. That is available for anyone who's willing to join. I would put the details of my masterclass at the end of the video. So enjoy the video, and if you like the video, do share it with people who can get maximum benefit from it. And I wish you all the best, and God bless you all. Hi everyone, welcome to this video, and this is one of the most essential topics for everybody to understand: the refinement stage. Generally what happens is, as soon as we finish the crown prep, we feel like, oh, the margin looks so good, the shape looks so good, it looks like a crown, and we stop there. That's the majority of the main reason. That is one of the essential reasons why people fail in crown prep. And we have to go back to the basics on this. We have to go back and start understanding is the crown is not finished until and unless it does not fit in the grading criteria. And that's very important for everybody to understand. Now, if you look at this crown prep, we finished it today in our live Zoom session with all the candidates. For all the people who joined in, thanks for joining in. I think you will notice massive difference and improvement in your work because you did alongside with me step by step correcting your mistakes. So you'll notice that now when you do a crown prep, every step when you're doing something, you'll remember I was talking and what we need to do, why we need to do, and you'll understand that. However, when we finish, we don't stop here. We have to again go back to the 4 corners and do the measurement check. Now, if you notice, if I look at here, it's almost seem like the black is touching, but it's not fully in. That means this is not 1.2. That means I'm 100% gonna fail there. Then you notice on this one, and I generally don't look at the labial or the buccal because this is definitely 1.2. The black is fully in. Can you all see? But when you see the corners, you're generally a bit out. This looks like the black is almost in as well. So it's almost 1.2. But then as we see with the ADC friendly rule, it's not me. So When one person checks it, the second person checks it, and the third person checks it, are they all gonna come to the same conclusion that is 1.2 or not? And anytime in doubt with crown preps and endo, always best to remove a bit more. So if I feel like this is very accurate, I'm not here to impress anyone. Remember the ADC rule? I'll remove a slight bit more just to be 100% clear of 1.2. Here, I need to definitely remove more. It's under. Now let's look at here. I feel like the margin is very less. The way you can tell if it's 0.5 or less is you can take a probe, periodontal probe, and run it over the margin. If you can easily run it over the margin without it dropping, see, it doesn't go, it drops off. That means this is less than 0.5. Anytime you feel you can easily run the probe without it dropping, that means it's 0.5. Anytime it's dropping off, that means this is less than 0.5 now. So that means you need refinement here. You need to increase it here. Make sure to increase a bit here as well. So measurements comes first. Then we look at the margins. Then we look at the taper. Then we look at make sure it's smooth, other things. But first thing is measurement. If my measurement is off, no matter how good it looks, I'm not be able to pass this exam. Secondly, which is another important point for all of us to understand, is that whenever your tooth looks good, like when I look at this tooth, it looks fancy, looks good, that means something is wrong. And that is my alert sign. Anytime I look at a tooth and I feel like it looks really good, I tell myself that the red light is on, the buzzer is on, something needs to be corrected. Okay, so I'm just gonna refine it in front of all of you. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the same burr that we use for the crown prep, okay? The flat one. And then what I'm gonna do is increase the margin first. Make sure you all can see what I'm doing. Now, very important bit. Previously, you'll notice in my videos, I always talk about intermittent motion. I don't want anybody to do the prep like this. I don't want anybody to prep like, but you won't be able to control it, right? So what I want everybody to do is, and make sure your water is on for the purpose of the demonstration. If I turn the water on, you won't be able to see anything. So what I want all of you to do is, just switch this off so you can hear me correctly. What I want all of you to do is make sure you do it with water, intermittent motion again, but then not with a foot pedal. Because previously in the exam, a lot of people say, I want to do intermittent motion, and they do press with the foot pedal, and the examiners feel you're gonna destroy or damage the equipment, and they warn you, and the students are worried now, I can't do intermittent motion. There's two ways of doing intermittent motion. One is with the foot pedal. The other thing is that Stevenson Dental Solution uses. If you see Stevenson Dental Solution, when he preps the crown, he also does intermittent motion. He doesn't go this, but instead of doing with the foot pedal, what he does is he does it with the burr. So what if you see Maxim Belograd, if you see Stevenson Dental Solution, and I do like to give credit to whoever the person has demonstrated the technique, because I teach myself, and I feel like it's so unfair if you are highlighting someone's methods or techniques and you're not giving them credit, because I feel like so unfair to them. So if you see them, and I've seen their videos, if you notice, they don't do it with a foot pedal, because they all have electric motors and electric hand pieces. It doesn't allow you to do the foot pedal, but you can do it with the hand piece. So the touch of the burr, you can touch it like an intermittent motion or intermittent fashion. And sometimes we call it as a waving motion, in which what you do is, instead of doing it with the foot pedal, you do it with the burr, like touch, touch, touch. Same thing with composite, like we do tap, tap, tap. You do the same thing with the burr. So notice what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna touch it with the burr. And I hope it's clear and you know what I'm doing. So not with a foot pedal, I'm doing it with a burr. So then It's still on, but I'm kind of like painting it through. Okay. Now, one thing is very important when you do the interproximal, don't do straight. You have to kind of like do the lifting motion here, lifting motion. If you don't lift, then the problem is you cause a bit of a reduction in the margin height there, and you'll end up having less interproximal reduction. I mean, you'll have the height equigingival or subgingival or interproximal, and the height would be good here. So when you do the interproximal reduction, see how my margin has a lift? You want to do the same lift there, same lift there, same lift there, okay? Another thing which is very crucial when you're refining it, you notice how the tooth is not damaged on the side, it's nice and shiny. The reason is I always check it with the dead burr motion first. So if I'm without running the burr, I can see if it's going past or stopping. Do you see that it's stopping there? That means there's less space for this thick burr here. And ideally I should use a smaller size burr. And if I don't use it, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna end up damaging it. And majority of the time we're so into doing the task, we miss out on this minor point. Same thing here. See, it's not getting stuck. That means it's good for this area, but on this area, ideally it's getting stuck on some areas. That means I should use a smaller size burr. So let's increase it here. So the margin is getting better. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the burr for the other side. So then I have a bit of an idea on how to do kind of like both of them, not just one. So then we will go with the needle shaped burr that we use for the other side. And let me just try to find this burr. We're just using it this morning. And I don't get to find it now. So let me just try to use it. It's right there. So then what we want to do is you just want to increase the margin there as well. And then what we want to do is I want to tilt it in a way you all can see it, what I'm doing. Until the point that, can you see how the interproximally there's a bit of a edge there until it's completely reduced. And then again, even if a thin burr, I will do the dead burr motion to see if it's getting stuck somewhere or not. If it's not getting stuck, that means that's the right burr that I'm using. And again, I'm just kind of like doing the same motion, refining it. Can you see the margins getting better now? And the best way to do it, the probe, it runs through the whole thing. Now if you see it's not dropping, right? Previously it was dropping here. That means now the margin is 10.5. So just keep it increasing it a slight bit more. And then now if you see, you can see the margin through and through. What I would like to do is just increase the corners here as well. So if it's enough reduction and the margin is definite 1.2, not any less. So again, remember the ADC friendly rule. When one person sees it, the second person sees it, and the third person sees it, they should come to the common agreement looking at the margin that I don't know exactly what the margin is, but it's definitely over 1.2. And that's the main aim for us to do this activity. If you notice now, the margin is getting much clearer. Previously, you couldn't see the margin here, and that means it's a lot better now. So let's run the probe now. You'll see it's not dropping down now. It easily runs over. That means you have a 0.5 millimeter margin or more, which is good. It runs through, it's not dropping. That is great. And then all we need to do now is assess it. It has a functional 3-bevel plane, which is good. Occlusal reduction looks good. And then I would assess the margin again. Now, if you notice now, the black is definitely inside. And the black is definitely inside, so that's definitely more. This one previously was out, now it's in, but I feel like I still feel it's almost accurate. So maybe for me it's accurate, but for examiner maybe it's not 100% accurate. So this suggests that I should increase it a bit more. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring back my burr and I'm gonna increase it until the point it's well clear over 1.2. And these are the things that happen generally when you don't use water. The slip is not that great. So if you use water, then it won't happen. But just in case if you accidentally do something like this, then just have the refinement and then just settle this down. It should go away. And it's good to practice these kind of things as well, because generally these things happen in the exam and you're worried. So we want to practice it in a way that just in case if it happens, you exactly know how to correct it. And now if you start to see the margin looking much better, and then I would check it again, and then you'll start to see that it's getting a bit better. If it's still looking pretty similar, then what we will do is ideally I should use a thicker burr to kind of like do it a bit better. And then ideally if you use with water, that's ideal. And then what I would do is this, just now this is also a very important point, is whenever you do this step, see my margin is still supragingival. I'm not going in the margin. I'm just doing where the line angle is, or where the not the proximal, where the labia or buccal and that margin meets. I'm just cleaning that line angle. Two things very important when you do this step: make sure do not bend the burr like this, otherwise you'll end up causing a clean undercut there. And the best way to tell is if you see from the occlusal view, I can see the full margin around and around. That means I've not created an undercut. If I do not see the margin, that means there's a high chance I've created an undercut there. And then what I'm going to do is again check the dead burr motion. That means it's going through. So again, I'm not doing it with the foot pedal, I'm doing it with the burr, but still intermittent motion. And then you'll notice the margin is getting better to the point where it should be well clear over 1.2. So now see, the black is clearly in, the black is clearly in, and the black is clearly in. This suggests that I'm well clear over 1.2. This is what I want you all to do. Whenever you feel like the black's almost touching, that means you're accurate. And accuracy always puts you in trouble long term, because the examiner might think it's less. Even if it's 0.1% less, you still fail. So you have to be making sure you're well clear over 1.2. Now, when you do these things, that what happens is you start creating a bit of line angles here. And to round things off, there's two ways. One thing is to make your life easy, which a lot of people struggle with. They're gonna damage the tooth. Use a soft flex. And what a soft flex does is kind of like merge everything together. So your life's a lot easier. You don't worry about damaging the teeth, and you know, it's a lot more gentler, okay? The second thing, what you can do is, so the first is soft flex. You can even like, see the buccal contour there? To have it gently, you can always do it with soft flex, this one as well. To create this contour, and you notice how it disappears a bit. The second thing you can do, and if you're comfortable with it, which I like doing, because I like to playing with danger a bit. Not that, but I feel like I like using the burr motions better. Then what I will do is have it horizontal, completely flat, and just run it that way. What that does is it beautifully contours all the line angles. So there. So just run it flat like this. And then you notice how kind of like smoothing everything off for you. So then you look at a natural tooth, how it has rounded everywhere. Now look at my crown prep, it's kind of like rounded everywhere. That's how I like to do it. Just with a burr, run it flat everywhere. And make sure everything else. Now at this point, if you're not comfortable, you can run a gingival marginal trimmer on the margin, just creating any flex and stuff out. What I like doing, again, I like to put my burr just like this once, just like this once. So what it happens is any lipping anywhere, it kind of like comes out. So you have to be a bit careful at this step, but then that's how I like to do it. So just go in and out. That way what happens is your margin becomes really symmetrical and smooth. So this is my refinement process. And then what we want to do, again, I don't care how the tooth looks. My main focus is measurements. So I'm going to do the measurements again. Make sure, see the black is well clear inside now. It's not touching the border. The black is well clear inside now. It's not touching the border. That means I'm well clear over 1.2. And that's what I want you all to do. And if you notice this one at the back, it's away from the, not almost touching the black. That means I'm almost 0.8. And then it runs through on top without dropping. That means I'm definitely 0.5. And then you look at the secondary plane. Then you look at the taper of the tooth. But if you focus on the measurements, that is your main goal. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean the tooth. And you all can appreciate it a bit better. And let's have a look at now the final crown prep. You notice everything looks smooth, the margin looks clean, it's well clear. 1.2. If I see from the occlusal, you can see the full margin all the way through. Proximally, it's smooth. Everything kind of like follows it through. This is the time I will reevaluate once with the putty, just to make sure there's no major issues happening. But that's the refinement process. Even if it looks good, you have to kind of like stop there and think of passing the exam, not just saying that, oh, it looks good. Now the final step, what I like to do, and I would also like you all to do this as well, is even you feel you're really happy with everything, don't just finish there. What I would do, the final step at this point is I would just run an enhance point. So what you want to do is at this point,
you just want to take an enhance point in the slow speed and just kind of like run it all around on the margins as well, on the occlusal, on the borders, everywhere. So what it kind of like gives it just gives it a bit of a cleaner look. And the best part about enhance is you can just literally run it all around, up to here, up to here, up to here. Everything kind of like smoothens out. And the last thing what you do is just clean it out again, and everything kind of like smoothens out a bit easier. And that's your refinement process. I'm sure it's a bit more clearer and it must be helpful for all of you, but please remember, the main goal is not to impress people, it's to make sure you fit in the grading criteria and you pass, and the pass and fail criteria. And that's why it's so important for people to kind of like not miss out on, because majority of the time it's so focused on how the tooth looks, and then that we miss out on areas. So that way, when you do it this way, your focus is more on passing the exam, not on how it looks. So that's very important. Once you finish, please focus on your refinement processes and things will start to improve. My best wishes. Any concerns, please let us know, and God bless you all. And hopefully after this, we have more tooth preps which are fitting more according to the grading criteria, not on how it looks. Okay, God bless you.
Your lips are still glowing.